Hey, thanks for joining us. This is Eric Silliard on Making Movies with Anubis Productions. This is our rebranded podcast. If you want to go back and hear the earlier ones, it was just about Diaconia, and we've reshaped it a little bit, so now we can talk about everything we're doing. That project is still moving forward. It's still some things going on with it. I'll still be updating you from time to time about it. Actually, every podcast probably, I'll update you a little bit about it. But this way we can kind of talk about everything we're doing for those that are interested, and not just be focused on that one project we're doing. But so this week, speaking of everything we're doing, at Anubis Productions, we don't just do our own projects. We do everything. So we have our own projects we're pushing and we're trying to get going. The bigger project, Diaconia, which is a streaming series. It's Christian based. That's being looked at by some studios, hopefully, crossing our fingers. It was being looked at by PureFlix. Haven't heard anything back from them in a while, so who knows how serious that is now. But at the same time, we have that big project. We have the feature. It's a feature project that's called Tell Them I'm Sorry. And that one, for those that you are familiar, is about creating awareness, telling stories about people who are most susceptible, statistically speaking, to suicide. So a lot of us think we know who is, the highest risk of suicide. And there are different groups that have high percentages in that group, but actually it's very surprising. The people most susceptible by the raw numbers are not always who you think they are. And I think it's important that people realize that, so that you can kind of be aware and spread that awareness, because it shocked me. So Tell Them I'm Sorry is 8 unique stories of people who are statistically most likely to commit suicide in larger numbers. And that's actually a written script, but it is written like a documentary, and it'll play like a documentary. And I think that's going to be kind of an integral to it. It's going to be a unique animal, because there's nothing out there that's really like that in that genre, trying to create awareness there. And I think it's going to be something that really grabs people. So we're trying to get that done this winter. We have a donor box for that. Tell Them I'm Sorry. You can go to our Anubis Productions Facebook page or any pages, and you'll find links to it. We're desperately trying to find investors and people that are interested in helping us to be able to just have the resources to make it properly. And basically we're basically more than anything looking to have the resources to pay our talent, pay our crew, and just pay people properly to work on the project. I do have people that are willing to do it for very reasonable rates because they believe in it, but at the same time, they're professionals that deserve to get a normal salary for what they're doing. The talent we're getting is generally local, probably, if we can find it all here. And at the same time, these parts are really challenging, so I don't want to ask those people to give that much time to this and their talent, for nothing. For those that do know me, I did acting in New York for about 10 years. I did a lot for free, and you do a lot for free, but it's also not fun, and people deserve to, get compensated. So we're not looking to realistically do much more than just being able to pay the bills with it. So if you're so inclined, if you have a heart for that topic, please check out our Tell Them I'm Sorry page, and you can see a short trailer we made for it. Has information. We have a blog going now that we're updating everyone on, steps of the way. And if you donate, you get access to that blog. And basically, you can, $5 is $5, man. We're so excited for anything, any support. Sharing it, liking it on your Facebook and social media is huge. We just really want to find a way to get that project off the ground. The budget is $65,000. We don't need that much to be moving forward and making the project. Again, we're basically, hopefully more than anything, just looking to be able to cover the costs and be able to pay people. So if you can have a heart for that and you can help out, that would be amazing. And with that in mind, I've kind of moved differently in how I'm advertising it, in the sense of like promoting it on social media. I've switched to more of like a statistic. So like it gives a statistic of that group of person, and then I have some dialogue from the script from the person who represents that group. And so we'll see if that helps, if that kind of connects it for people more, because people just don't realize, like, white males between 40 and 50 who get divorced are like one of the highest rates of suicide, the highest number of suicides, and that's a big one. So I've been posting up Brian has a neat story, I think, and I post up a little bit of text from him, so that's one that's up there now, and we're going to keep pushing forward in that end. And then Levtown said they're going to do a story on it, so we're really excited about that. They wanted to interview some local mental health professionals who have looked at the script and talked to me about the project. And they very kindly, it was a couple years ago when I talked to them, have gotten back to me and said they were willing to, and they'd actually want to meet with me to find out more about it, to talk more about it again, because it's been a while. And it's just so neat to find people that have a heart for something like this, that are really into it and want to be involved and want to help you push it along. So yeah, I'm super excited to talk to them early December. So there's what's going on with that project. And basically we've been doing a lot of shooting. Last week went crazy. So we had a shoot in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. For those of you that don't know, again, Anubis Productions does, like, sometimes I just rent I freelance out myself with my camera and equipment. So people will hire me or me and a grip that I work with. They'll hire us, or even sometimes, we'll do everything, sound, grip, lighting. They hire us to do all the nuts and bolts. They have the project, they just need the crew and equipment. So sometimes there's that. Sometimes we have clients that come and say, my boss said I need to do a video. I've never done a video, how do I do this? And in that case, we help produce it, and I'll direct it, and things of that nature. And then we also just do editing sometimes for some projects. People approach us, say, we have this shot, can you edit? We kind of do a little bit of everything here. And last week was actually a lot of fun. Like, we were booked again for Tuesday evening, actually afternoon evening, for an event at the Wells Fargo Center, which was really cool. And we basically are creating, we're sent in to shoot the highlight footage so that they can just put together a little highlight reel of the evening and help promote what they're doing. It's for a bigger client. And then actually that same client then had another shoot on the other side of Philly that had a corporate center where it was green screen, and they needed the interview setup, green screen setup, and all that stuff. And it ended up, the way it worked is they said that was for Tuesday. So Monday we had a shoot. Monday we were supposed to be at Wells Fargo Center. Tuesday we were supposed to be at the other side of Philly. And then the funny thing was, they had two people that could not make it on Tuesday and could only do Monday morning. So we ended up, going to Philadelphia on the one side of Philadelphia, setting up green screen and interview setups and shooting 2 interviews. And then we shuffled over to the Wells Fargo Center, and we shot from there from 2 to 8, 2 to 9 at night. And then we got home, and then we turned around Tuesday morning, and by 8:30 we had to be back in the other side of Philly and finish shooting all the green screen shoot for their other project. So that kept us hopping. And then Wednesday we got to kind of charge our batteries, literally charge all the camera batteries and all the batteries. And then Thursday we were in Baltimore at a museum there where there was another event. And then we covered that event so that we could, again, give them what they needed to create a highlight reel. So last week was a lot of Philadelphia and Baltimore. And then, oddly enough, when I was in Baltimore, I got an email saying about, was I available this Tuesday, yesterday, for a shoot in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And it was the same company that had us in Baltimore, which was, really thought they were messing with me, but they weren't. And and then I got me and Chris, who works with me here locally and in Philadelphia and Baltimore. He pretty much works on most of my jobs. So we, fortunately enough, grabbed that job. So instead of having to go to Baltimore, we could drive across town. And we shot that yesterday. And that was a fun piece for a group of employees who won an award, then are going to Florida. And they're doing this Jeopardy thing about company stuff. So then they had an intro they wanted. So we basically kind of shot the office intro, but with these individuals in an office here in Lebanon, and so that when they get introduced in Florida, they're gonna all come out to the whole office kind of thing. And it was funny because I said to him originally, I was like, I'm aware of the office, I looked it up, so I knew what they were talking about, the style of shooting they wanted, the shots they were looking at. But the funny thing is, I've never watched The Office more than attempted to watch it, and that style of shooting is so frustrating to me, the whole bobbly camera thing and all that, the handheld look. But I can tell you, it was actually really fun to shoot, and the people we shot with were really cool. They were all into the idea, they all had a lot of fun with it. It was one of those situations where it was so much fun. The day was great, and shooting handheld like that gives you a lot of freedom. And the producer I worked with was really super nice to work with, very open to input, and it was awesome because it was a collaboration. And it's always more fun when you're working with someone that's a little bit of, it's they're not just we want this, they're kind of well, yeah, what do you want? What are you thinking? So I could show him some shots, and he's like, oh, I like that. That's just like, this scene. And then there was other ones where he was like, no, do this, do this. So it was a fun shoot. It was to some degree an ideal shoot of just like more creative, more fun. Definitely something we wanted to do and enjoy doing. And we supplied all the camera, the audio, the lighting. And we did all that for them. So last week was a busy week. It was exciting, and then yesterday we were shooting again, and now there might be another shoot next Tuesday. Maybe not. We don't know. They're seeing if we were free. So we've been doing a lot of shooting lately here at Anubis Productions. It's fun. We enjoy it. If you need somebody for a video project from any level, we do everything from like helping you produce it, write scripts, storyboards, through the whole production process. To, again, if you know what you want, but you just need people to help with the equipment and implement it, that's us too. So, reach out to us, or if you know someone, we always appreciate that. And then we got Thanksgiving around the corner, and because of all the shooting, I'll tell you, this month just went so fast. I still can't understand that tomorrow's Thanksgiving. People kept going, Happy Thanksgiving! And I was like, really? Feels like Halloween was last week. So, but yeah, so we got good things. We're excited about Tell Them I'm Sorry. I mean, I'm trepidatious because we don't have a lot of money raised at this point, but at some point you never do. So we're really hoping to find maybe some bigger donors that are interested in, coming on even as producers to the project, or would be interested in partnering on it. That would be amazing. There's a lot of routes for it to go. It could go out, and I plan to put it in festivals and things of that nature. I actually think, though, it also has a lot of possibilities because there are these different cohorts it represents. So we could actually, give parts of it could be used for educational purposes in different environments, even like schools. Many people don't realize the freshman year of college is an extremely high suicide rate, and one of our characters represents that cohort. And so, yeah, we're thinking that could be something that could be used educationally. We also have a teenage girl who is also, they have a very high rate too. And there's something as well that could be used as educationally in schools. So there's a lot of potential to the project for things to do with it after it's shot. But at the same time, we don't exactly, you kind of, to some degree, we don't have those outlets locked in yet, but you kind of can't. Sometimes you can if you're real lucky. A project like this really doesn't. So it would be more, we're going to make it and then market it and see what we can do with it as far as festivals go and as far as educational go. I really think it's one of those projects too that people don't understand it till they see it. And a lot of people, they kind of understand it. Some people get it right away. Other people just look at me like, And I think that's also the more unique projects that end up taking off. It's the things that you know but don't know. It's the things that no one's done but they've sort of done. And this has that twist to it. It's definitely different, and it's heavy. But I think if we get the right talent, it's going to be amazing. So again, check out our Tell Them I'm Sorry donor box. And thank you so much for following Making Movies with Anubis Productions. We're excited to, I think I'm only a week from the last one. That's my goal, like every other week at a maximum, to keep this going. And if you're interested, that you can find out what we're doing and where our projects are at. So thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.